IRF Research Forum, Institute of Research and Journal Forum in the association with Academic Worlds and IFCR and many other organizations. Continuously organizes conferences in the field of science, technology, management, humanities, and all. And also about the organization, it's a decade-old organization, which is pioneered in having its 10 journals. They have 10 journals in that field, in all the fields of discipline. So till now, the association of a journal, for the society, more than a lakh of people have been associated, and more than 60 to 70,000 papers have been published in the journey of IRF Research Forum. And this organization has conducted more than 750 plus conferences till date physically, and around 200, 300 plus conferences virtually from pandemic, post-pandemic, post-pandemic time. It shifted online, also virtual session and mixed mode of sessions. So this is a brief overall introduction about the organization, right? IRF Research Forum. So welcome everyone for this IRF, for this international conference and members meet. So we will quickly go ahead and start with the session. In the meantime, few people kindly request them to turn on their video. Some four participants who are yet to turn on, please turn on your video. I can take a quick group photo. Dr. Bashir, please turn on your video, and Abdullah, Sakshi, Mohta, please turn on the video. Thank you. Two more yet to turn on their videos. Yeah. Thank you, Sakshi. And yeah, thank you. Here, let me just take a quick group photo. Thank you.
About that, I'm presenting on the analogy of visual arts and visual literacy. This study was prompted by my experience. I was first a visual arts teacher in a very reputable public high school, which was known to not have any Black teachers, to not have any Black female teachers, and let alone to not have any Black female visual arts teachers. And in the process, I got to experience in a conversation with a colleague who stated that, I'm sure your life is easy because you only have to teach your learners how to draw. But instead of me being offended, I actually got intrigued and interested to instigate an investigation to understand how much knowledge does the school management, the teachers and the parents of that school had with regarding to visual arts and as a subject and as a career. In the process, I got to learn that visual arts is a phenomenon that coincides with visual literacy. And then these are the questions that I ask in the study. What is the definition of visual arts? What does the term visual literacy mean? And what is the relation between visual arts and visual literacy? And the aim of this study is to clearly display the correspondence between visual arts and visual literacy. Briefly, I give definitions of the two terms. Visual arts are the artist who creates beautiful paintings, sculptures, and other works of art. They use colors, shapes, lines, and textures to express their ideas and emotions. In the same way, visual literacy is like the art critic or art enthusiast who looks at the works of art and analyzes them and interprets their meaning. So my understanding as a visual artist is that when I'm creating an artwork, at the beginning, I'm expressing myself through creating an image, and in the process, I hope that what I create will have a meaning for someone to be able to look at it and show an understanding or a relation to it, which is exactly what visual literacy is about, the analysis and interpretation of images. And that is why I include this illustration to clearly display how visual literacy and visual arts coincides with each other. So in this illustration is an illustration of how the brain sends a message to the eye. And I'm sure we will all agree that before we learn how to write CUP, which is the word cup, we are first taught how to identify it, to see it. If I'm as young as 3 or 4 years old, and before we learn how to write it, we identify it through color and how it looks. And this is exactly what this illustration demonstrates. So we start with understanding that this green tube that is in the middle of the brain is where the communication goes from one point to the next, and then that links to the eye. So the communication starts by the literal geniculate nucleus, where it is present on the left and the right of the brain, and that is the visual cortex of the communication between the brain and the eye. And then after that, the linkage moves from the LGN to the optic chiasm, where the nerves from each eye is connected to the brain, where the image is stored for memory. And then when we move further, we move to the optic tract, which is also a nerve that extends to the close understanding of how the image will come to life towards the eye. And then we have the optic nerve, which is the wall. I call it the wall between the brain and the eye, where the signals are then pushed from the eye towards the brain. And this wall leads to the focusing lens, where we then produce the image into the eye to get to remember what kind of image that we're looking at. And that is passed on through the lens of the eye, and then that's where we get to see the actual object. And that's what visual literacy is about, being able to explain what the image is about, and then being able to interpret and analyze it, which is the same as visual arts. And this study is a qualitative study that uses an interpretive method, where in this sense, I was looking at visual arts as a phenomenon, and then I got to understand that it's a phenomenon that works interlink with visual literacy, where I'm getting to understand that visual arts is a phenomenon that is not easily understood by some, and then it actually coincides with another phenomenon, which is known as visual literacy. And then the results and recommendations for the study is that visual arts is similar to visual literacy because it is the learning through understanding images and creating or using images for expression and communication. And that visual literacy is based on using images from understanding, which is in line with how visual arts operates. And overall, the correspondence between visual arts and visual literacy highlights the importance of visual analysis, interpretation, and communication in our visually driven society. Understanding the relationship between these two terms can deepen our appreciation for the power of visuals and communication. And I recommend that visual arts play a vital role to other learning areas in assisting with making learning easier through visuals. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Abdin Adil Khan. So today I'm presenting, my title is Business Innovation, Healthcare Emerging Models for Sustainable Growth. So today I'm going to discuss the importance of innovations in healthcare. So I will cover three main areas: the telehealth, personalized medicine, and integrated care system. This innovation is transforming healthcare delivery, improving the patient's outcomes, and enhancing system efficiency. So abstract today, healthcare sector is dynamic and demand the constant innovations. This study examined the growing trends in healthcare, the innovations, particularly focusing on the technology, service delivery, and system optimizations. So by analyzing the current trends and case studies, we highlighted the impact of this innovation on care quality, organizational effectiveness, and healthcare system stability. So the paper also addressing the obstacle to innovations and provide the recommendations for fostering sustainability and innovation healthcare environment. So literature review, healthcare has evolved significantly due to innovations like telemedicine, electronic health records, and artificial intelligence. The telemedicine improves access and reduce cost, while EHR the enhance the information quality and care integrations. So artificial intelligence and machine learning are increasingly used for diagnosis and treatment planning. So despite this advancement, more research is needed to fully understand the long-term impact and how to overcome the implementation barriers. Methodology, we used a mixed methodology approach, the collecting the quantitative data through the survey, health records, and financial report, and qualitative data via interviews and case studies. Our focus was on telehealth, the personalized medicine and integrated care system. Quantitative analysis involved the descriptive strategic and regressions analysis, while the qualitative data were analyzed using the thematic analysis to identify the key pattern and themes. Okay. And result, the our finding the show significantly benefit from the healthcare innovations. So telehealth reduce the emergency room the visit by 25% and hospital readmissions by the 20% with a notable increase in patients' satisfactions. Second one is personalized medicines. The targeted the therapist and contribute to 45% of cost, the saving showing the higher efficiency compared to traditional method. So third one is integrated care system. Improve the patient outcomes, the reduce readmissions and enhance satisfaction while the lowering cost. Discussions and conclusion. So healthcare innovations like telehealth, personalized medicine, and integrated care system significantly enhance the care quality, patient outcomes, and cost efficiency. However, the challenges such as high implementation costs, technology integrations, and regulation issue must be addressed. So future effort should focus on the providing the financial incentive and establishing the secure communications uh, protocols and investing in continuous professional development for the healthcare workers. Thanks.
Yes,
Any question? Yeah, any
thank you.
question?
Yeah, any participant, any questions on this presentation?
I request Vaishak Kamath to take over for another 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll just get back.
sure,
Small
sir.
technical issue. I will just find it.
Sure, sir.
start, please. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for having us today. It's a pleasure and honor for us to talk about our research. As I said, I am the co-author with Dr. Bashar Al-Qahtani. My name is Dr. Edita Volna Bulwafa, and we represent here College of Sciences and Human Studies at PMU. And we would like to say about the Saudi Arabia, about the country which has long history, but nowadays is changing extremely quickly. So we will refer to Vision 2030, and we will talk about the impact on everyday life and entertainment. And I want to start with the quotation. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is a pathway to the future. Unveiled in 2016, it represents a transformative and deeply ambitious plan to unlock the kingdom's vast potential by creating a diversified, innovative, and world-leading nation. This is what is important for us to understand why me and Dr. Bashar are putting so much influence to our research from Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. And you can generally ask me, okay, so why did you connect social changes with everyday life? And of course, it is a very good question, but we have the answer on it in the Vision 2030 because they treat the creators of Vision 2030, they treat that culture and entertainment are indispensable to our quality of life. That is why we are talking both about everyday life, about social changes, and entertainment. And of course, as you can imagine, our research was based on documents connected with Saudi Vision 2030, like Saudi Arabia's Story of Transformation, the vision itself, and our participant observation. What is important are the research questions. So what is the vision of Saudi society in Saudi Vision 2030? The first one. What are main social changes connected with everyday life of citizens which occurred in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia from 16 till 24? What are the main changes connected with entertainment according to Saudi Vision? And how does the future of Saudi society in terms of everyday life and entertainment look like? So about the society, we have to understand that the Vision 2030 states that real wealth lies in the Saudi society. How this society should be strong, united nation promoting national unity. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. Modern, concentrating on future of its country. But anyhow, it's concentrating on the future, but also needs to respect and follow traditions and ancient heritage. Of course, Saudi Arabia, we have to understand the importance of Arabic language, encourages social development, respects diversity, enjoys the good quality of life, what is important also in the terms of our research, be tolerant, warm, hospitable, and strengthen Islamic and Arabic values, because we have to understand that still, when we are talking about these traditions, also Islam, the religion, the main religion, and only one official religion of Saudi Arabia, would be the power which will be the driving force for any changes and will help Saudis and all residents to achieve all the objectives of Vision 2030. We have to understand that Saudi Vision a lot of times says that all these changes won't be possible if there won't be opportunities for everyone, men and women. And this is important. Why? Because more than half of the population is below age of 25. So it builds their thinking, about Saudi Arabia and their life. More than 50% of university graduates are ladies, and generally nowadays new opportunities for ladies for work are planned to arrive to 30% from 22, which we have now. And we have to understand that Saudi society has been witnessing a lot of changes. So, for example, strengthening women's rights, traveling and obtaining the passport without male guardian's permission, allowing women to drive the car, increasing participation in the workplace. Generally, the gender segregation, which was in restaurants, now is reduced, or sometimes it doesn't appear at all, and drastically reducing the power of religious police. When we're talking about the entertainment, as I said, Saudi Vision highlights so much promoting culture and entertainment. We have to mention the Daim national program, which will increase or create a national network of clubs to promote awareness of hobbies and leisure activities. The authorities also declare that there is a public and private support for talented authors, directors, writers, etc. Empowering and entertainment institutions will also promote cultural and sport activities among children. There is a plan to build a lot of museums, arts, and libraries, and among them is the Islamic Museum, which will show the history of Islam. And of course, as we are planning to do it, as they are planning to do it, there should be the extra expenses for the cultural and environment activities, which will raise to 6% from 2 and 9. And when we are talking also about the entertainment, we have to mention Qaddiya mega project. This is the futuristic and touristic mega city, which was located south of Riyadh. We just called the world's most passionate ambassador of play. And they are planning to finish the project in 2035. We cannot forget about Riyadh Diriyah. This is the place of historic place, but it's not only the cultural capital. It's just also this is a place where now a lot of entertainments happens, like concerts and others. And we have to mention here that in 2017, authorities allowed for the first time in the history that female singer performed female public concert, and in 2018 a first mixed gendered concert took place. So imagine 2018, we are now in 24, and how big changes they are doing. And of course, Kingdom wants to be called a key player in the creative world. We have to mention as well the film industry and music. So the country, which not a long time ago didn't have any cinemas, now has been successfully entering the film industry. They are organizing from 2019 the Red Sea International Film Festival in Jeddah. And generally, if you look at the map of concerts and in Saudi Arabia, you will see that they are offering a lot of music festivals, concerts full of national, international stars. And Saudi Seasons, it's something what is it's national-wide initiative celebrating Kingdom's culture, heritage, boosting the domestic environment. And we have, for example, Riyadh season, ISER season, Jeddah seasons, a lot of others. And when we are talking about the seasons, we have to mention also WeBook application, WeBook.com application. It's a major platform in sports, entertainment, tourism, and culture within the kingdom, where you can check what is going on in your area. And Dr. Bashar, are you here? Is Dr. Bashar here? I think I don't hear her. Is anybody here see Dr. Bashar? Okay, so I think I will have to talk about the women's empowerment. So the Saudi Vision, we have to understand that Saudi Vision played a crucial role in empowering women and generally expanding their participation in various aspects of society. And as we said, that the women participation, for example, in the workplace is increasing, so rising from 20% in 1819 to 33% by the end of 2030. What is more, Saudi women have represented the countries locally and internationally in diverse fields, such as politics, economics, social medicine, education. And of course, when we are talking about entertainment, they have much greater access to entertainment options now. As we said, they can enter cinemas, they can go to live performances, sports stadiums, and other forms of entertainment, which has reshaped a Saudi family dynamics. And of course, all studies have shown that Saudi women have stronger role in society, work, and the home, as the changes have given them more opportunities and confidence in their abilities. The future of Saudi society, how do we see it? The future of society in terms of everyday life and entertainment is expected to continue evolving based on the goals set for in the Saudi Vision 2030. We have upcoming attractions and events in Saudi Arabia, like hosting World Cup 2033, 2027 Asian Cup, 2030 Asian Games, transformation of Riyadh City to the Green Riyadh, or opening the Six Flags Park. These initiatives are expected to create further social and cultural changes in the society. So, greater openness to the outside world, introduction to various ideas and experiences, opportunities for leisure and self-expression, potential development in personal freedoms and lifestyle choices, especially for women. We have to also remember that there is pace and extent of this transformation, which will depend on continued government support and involving social attitudes. The changes in everyday life and entertainment, as probably you could see from our presentation, reflect the progress Saudi Arabia has made in realizing the goals set for in the Saudi Vision, which aims to create modern, diverse, and globally engaged society that embraces its traditions while fostering cultural development and providing enjoyable experiences for its citizens and residents. The conclusion: we have to understand that by understanding social impact of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, plan on Saudi citizens regarding entertainment and leisure options, we cannot deny that Vision 2030 is transforming entertainment, everyday life, leisure in the kingdom positively. And that's all. I would like to thank you for having us one more time. Thank you for listening our presentation. Here you have contact to Dr. Bashar and to me. And if there are any questions now or later, we will be more than happy to present them.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me properly?
Yeah, Deepika, carry on.
Okay, thank you. So this is Deepika Badial, and the topic of my presentation is India-ASEAN Economic Ties, study about its potential future growth. So as we all know, India is becoming a major superpower in the global domain, right? India is becoming into a significant factor in determining the future political and security landscape in Asia, as it displays its ability to compete economically and technologically in the 21st century. India's decentralized political and economic I'm so sorry, I can't see my presentation. Can you all see it?
Yes, I can see.
Yes. But I'm unable to see the PPT. Something is wrong. Anyway, I'll carry on. So yeah, as I was saying, India's decentralized political and economic structures, together with their resilience and stability, as well as its unity, all have the potential to strengthen India's competitiveness. In terms of factor endowment, economic structure and skills and capacities in a variety of fields, the India-ASEAN collaboration aspires to maximize complementaries and synergies. Now, the next slide here, I'm showing you the map of this ASEAN grouping. Wait a minute. Yes. So these are the member countries of ASEAN. How they came into being, there is a little story behind it. Actually, during the Cold War era, even the Southeast Asian countries, they were divided between the Western countries and the communist power bloc, a few countries basically, which were either aligned or even the ones which were non-aligned with the Western countries. Essentially, those who were opposed to communism, they came together to form a grouping called the ASEAN in 1967 by signing the Bangkok Declaration. A few Southeast Asian countries established this grouping. Later, many other countries joined, but earlier it was only the 5 countries which came together. It was only after the Cold War ended, and after the Cold War ended, and after the region started integrating together, 5 more countries of the region, that is Vietnam, Laos, then comes Brunei, Cambodia, and even Myanmar. They all joined this grouping in the 1990s. So from 1990s, the ASEAN has become a predominant political and economic organization that is focused on the region. Now, the most significant fact about the Southeast Asia is that it lies in the center of the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So it lies at the very heart of the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and it plays a determining role in the Indo-Pacific region. ASEAN is it is basically a political and economic grouping of 10 most important Southeast Asian countries, and they are the countries that were aligned with the West, and there were also non-aligned countries such as Indonesia, which was not aligned. Indonesia was also one of the founders of non-aligned movement along with India. Other countries like Singapore and Philippines, they were clearly aligned with the Western countries. So in order to create a front against communism. So a political economic grouping that dominates Southeast Asia is naturally expected to play an important role in the ASEAN economy. Today, ASEAN has moved beyond its economic role, and it is also playing a strategic role in the Indo-Pacific. As you can all see, it has established in 1967, and the motto was one vision, one identity, one community, and the secretariat is located in Jakarta. One interesting fact about Asian countries is that they represent a total population of 662 million people, and they account for nearly 3.2 trillion. It was the estimate of 2022, but according to the recent or the latest estimates, that has gone up to the $4 trillion GDP of the global GDP. So these countries have become significant economic powerhouses on their own. It is a free market economy. Basically, it was Singapore, country like Singapore, it has emerged as one of the economic powerhouses. It is a free market economy, and it has emerged as a leader in services and in the financial industry. Countries like Vietnam, they have registered tremendous growth over the last few years, and it has emerged as a technology hub and the startup hub of the region. As far as the Indo-Pacific region is concerned, it is in this context we need to understand India's relations with ASEAN. India's relationship with ASEAN is the central pillar of our localist activity. Some of you might have heard of India's Look East policy, which today has been upgraded to the activist policy of India. India launched the Look East policy back in 1992 under the then Prime Ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. There was basically a reason why India launched the Look East policy. Under the policy, India was trying to revive its historical, cultural, economic relations with its eastern neighbors. This policy was obviously focused on the southeastern region, but it was also focused on the East Asia region, which until then was largely neglected by India until the end of the Cold War, until 1992. There were few major developments that took place. One was the end of the Cold War. As the Cold War ended, India lost a key ally in the form of Soviet Union. Right. So during that same period, we also faced an internal economic crisis. India faced a balance of payment crisis, which eventually pushed India to introduce the LPG reforms, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So as far India was opening up its economy, India needed new investments. We needed to attract more foreign investments. Along with that, we needed new markets where our goods could be exported. So this was a top priority for India. It was in this context the Narasimha Rao government launched various policies. One of them was a Look East policy to pay attention to the Southeast Asia region. Major initiatives have been taken up, and the policy is primarily driven by our relationship in the ASEAN region, right? So recently, also in 2014, Prime Minister Modi upgraded the Look East policy into Act India policy. Even under the Act India policy, the ASEAN, it happened to be the central pillar. It still is the central pillar of the policy. It drives India's equation with the Southeast Asia region. If you look at the history of India-ASEAN relations, it was in 1992, India established a sectoral dialogue with the ASEAN group. When we launched Look East policy, within a few years, India became a full dialogue partner and a member of the ASEAN Regional Forum, that is ARF, ASEAN Regional Forum, which is a much larger group that is led by 10 ASEAN countries. They bring together other 27 countries from the Asia to form the ARF. India is a full-time partner and a dialogue partner. So India is pursuing a couple of connectivity projects with the Southeast Asia region. Now, if we look at the institutional mechanism of ASEAN, there are various mechanisms, one of which is ASEAN Summit. ASEAN, they meet annually to discuss the regional issues and obviously set policy directions. Then there is ACC, which is ASEAN Coordinating Council. It oversees the implementation of ASEAN agreements and decisions. Then comes Secretariat, as we talked about it. It is located in Jakarta and it supports and facilitates ASEAN's activities and initiatives. ARF, we have just talked about. It is a much larger program and it is not just confined to the ASEAN members, but it is also extended to the other countries. And their decision making is done through consultation and consensus. Now, when it comes to the principles, obviously, whenever there is an international grouping or there is a regional bloc, it is very important to set certain principles which they can abide by. So obviously, mutual respect, national existence, then non-interference in the internal affairs of one another. These are all very important principles. So one of the major principles obviously is to renunciate the threat or the use of force, and effective cooperation obviously is much needed. That is why any setting or grouping is being set. Now, the strength of the ASEAN as a group of nations include what? Basically, regional stability is the most important. As we have all seen in the map, they are all neighbors, right? So it is essential for each of them to have peace and stability in the region. And economic growth obviously is the most important factors, as we have seen that their population accounts for 630 million people, and now a growing middle class sector, making it a dynamic and rapidly expanding market for trade and investment. So it is a major hub of manufacturing and trade. It is also the fourth largest exporter in the world trade. Cultural diversity is obviously there. It is ASEAN, basically. ASEAN grouping is home to a rich and diverse range of cultures, languages, and religions. It has Islam, it has Buddhism, it has various other religions, which creates opportunities for cross-cultural exchange and cooperation. We talked about ASEAN as the key member in the global domain because it has got Indian Ocean as well as the Pacific Ocean. That is why it has basically positioned itself as a strategic partner. That is why all the global countries, be it US, be it China, be it India, everybody is looking at ASEAN. And diplomatic engagement, ASEAN has developed strong diplomatic ties with major powers. We have seen, allowing it to leverage its strategic position and influence on the global issues. Now, since we talked about India and ASEAN potential, we basically India and ASEAN, they go way back in ancient and medieval times. Even the Cholas and the Pallavas, all these kingdoms had, had influences in these regions that is being witnessed, that is being set up. Now, as a modern, in the modern era, after the Look East policy, obviously the Act East policy is being introduced, and we have also celebrated the 30th anniversary between these two regions. So ASEAN constitutes the third largest market in the world. And obviously, this is one of the reasons which can help India utilize its export potential. ASEAN, obviously the convergence with Indo-Pacific strategy we talked about, and it's Indo-Pacific strategy reflecting the convergence of interests in the region. Also, countering China's influence is very important, both for ASEAN countries as well as the countries outside of ASEAN. That is why we have seen a large number of groupings come into being, be it ASEAN, be it Quad. US is trying to position Asian countries so that it can counter China basically from rising as one of the major economies. Obviously, it has become one of the major economies, but they want to counter it. So that is why a lot of regional blocks are coming into being. Also, the connectivity with Northeast is very important and is the most interesting part of it, because India and ASEAN, they are trying to connect a northeastern region of India with the ASEAN countries. We have seen various projects being led under the present establishment, be it Kaladan project, be it IMT. There have been road initiatives which are being put into process. So connectivity initiatives with the ASEAN can obviously boost economic development in India's northeastern states by positioning them as a hub for regional trade and commerce. Important for rule-based order, ASEAN plays a central role in promoting rule-based security architecture in the Indo-Pacific region, which is essential for the region's stability and prosperity. So now there are a wide range of areas of cooperation for both India and ASEAN, as ASEAN is one of the important pillars of India's Act East policy. Annual summit has started being held after 2002. Earlier, it used to meet occasionally, but it was upgraded to the summit level in 2002, which shows how important it has become both for India as well as the ASEAN countries to meet regularly, to foster ties for both its sakes, right? So trade and investment obviously is the key to any country's economy. So India and ASEAN have also signed an FTA that has boosted trade and investment between the two. ASEAN is India's fourth largest trading partner. India ASEAN Business Council is also being set up in 2005 with the aim of fostering closer business linkages. Regional connectivity, we talked about the Indian Myanmar Thailand IMT trilateral highway, Kaladan multimodal transit transport project. This was one of the key factors. And the other thing is defense and security. India and ASEAN countries, they have strengthened defense cooperation by conducting joint military exercises such as ASEAN-India Maritime Exercise and ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting ++. It is very interesting to see how India provides a platform to these island nations such as Singapore. It provides base for such countries to hold their military trainings, because obviously they are short in their area, land area, right? So India places ASEAN at the center of its Indo-Pacific vision of security and growth for all in the region. It is also known as SAGAR. Social cultural cooperation. India obviously is interested in promoting cultural exchanges between both the regions to enhance people-to-people ties. For example, inviting ASEAN students to India each year for the students exchange program, special training courses for ASEAN diplomats, etc., etc. Also, India has established ASEAN India Summit Center at the Research and Information System for Developing Countries. Funding is obviously is the key area where the interest has been shown. Financial assistance has been provided to ASEAN countries from the ASEAN Indian Cooperation Mode, ASEAN India S&T Development Fund, and ASEAN India Green Fund. Now, there is another very important summit, which is East Asia Summit. It is different from the ASEAN, but it is an association of Southeast Asian nations-led initiative. It is an initiative started by the ASEAN countries only. So the EAS is the only leader-led forum in the Indo-Pacific region that brings together all key partners to discuss political, security, and economic issues of strategic importance. The EAS operates on the principles of openness, inclusiveness, respect for international law, ASEAN centrality, and ASEAN's role as the driving force. Now, the environment and energy, education, finance, global health issues, and pandemic diseases, natural disaster management, and ASEAN connectivity are its goals. India and East Asia Summit. India has been a founding member of the EAS since 2005 and has actively participated in all the meetings. India views EAS as a key platform for enhancing its Act India policy and strengthening its strategic partnership with ASEAN and other regional countries. Now, obviously, if there are opportunities, there are going to be issues and challenges. There are a list of challenges which India and ASEAN can face. India's trade deficit with ASEAN has increased over the years. This has led to concerns in India about the benefits of the ASEAN-India FTA. So India engages with the ASEAN countries more on the bilateral basis still, rather than through a multilateral approach. Competing regional agreements, engagement with other regional agreements like RCEP and Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnerships diverts attention and resources away from the ASEAN-India relationship. Although India didn't join RCEP, but such engagements can divert the attention from the ASEAN. Chinese presence is very much the factor which everybody wants to control, and limited connectivity. Despite efforts to enhance connectivity, physical and digital connectivity between India and ASEAN countries remains limited, which affects trade, investment, and people-to-people ties. So there are various steps which can be taken by both India and ASEAN. That includes enlarging Quad, maritime security in the Indo-Pacific region, strengthening cultural connect, also strengthening connectivity, although there are various projects being led by the government, but still there is a need to strengthen the connectivity and the collaboration in the international regional forums. Thank you.